So today we're going to work on the wall, and I have here titanium buff or unbleached titanium, titanium white, burnt umber, Naples yellow, and ultramarine violet. So we're going to give this wall a couple of layers of different colors. And I also have two size brushes. This is number 6, and this is, I don't know what number is this. Oh, that's 18. No, that's too big. But anyway, two sizes. I'm gonna start.
It looks like an 8 if it's the American Painter one for me.
Yeah, that's good. 8 is good. So if you have 8, that's fine. All right, I'm gonna start with the bigger brush, and I'm gonna take a bit of titanium buff. And whatever color we're going to put, we're going to dip the color in the titanium buff and titanium white. So it's not going to be dark. So I'm taking burnt umber now and dip it in these two colors so I don't end up with a dark color. And also I'm going to take a bit of ultramarine violet. So ultramarine violet looks much nicer when it's with light color like titanium white or titanium buff. So these four colors: titanium buff, titanium white, burnt umber, ultramarine violet. It's good. So it's good color.
I just broke my lamp. Hang on. Sorry.
What happened?
Oh, I was pushing the lamp down. I'm just going to mute it myself for a second and I broke it. Hang on.
All right. Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to take a little bit more of the burnt umber. At this point. We're going to use colors. We're going to alternate the colors and use them back and forth. You have to remember that we have a layer of flowers hanging over these walls, so we don't have to be too neat with this. And it's nice to give the walls kind of an old weathered look. Let's take only now a bit of burnt umber and titanium buff only. We will put more colors over this, but for now, and look how dark it's turning. I mean, even with the titanium buff and titanium white, it's still turning really dark. That's okay. It's good. Now, just titanium buff and ultramarine violet with burnt umber. See, although I'm using all these colors, you can see that it looks like a very nice I'm adding white now to the same colors. I'm going to start adding a bit of Naples yellow. Naples yellow is not by itself. It's mixed with the same mixture I'm working with right now. So all I did is I added the Naples yellow in here. And I'm going to take more Naples yellow now. Put titanium white in it. Oh, I love this color. It's really nice. So you see here, I'm putting titanium white and Naples yellow, but you can't see it on the side where there's a yellow ochre, the base color that we have. But if I put it here, let's say on this, you're going to see it because it's over the dark color. And I like what the brush is doing, this texture that I'm getting with the brush. Now you can see it better there. So if you get this texture, don't try to remove it. Keep it. Use it. And this is because I'm using kind of a dried brush. I'm not putting my, dipping my brush in water. Now, let's go back to what we were doing before. So I'm just playing around with colors, with different colors. I'll go back to what initially I used before. Burnt umber, ultramarine violet, titanium white or titanium buff. And then I put over that, these colors, the Naples yellow and white. I'm going to get rid of this door frame, and do the whole thing wall. Now, if my brush is very dry, I'm dipping just the tip of my brush in water, not the whole brush. So I can still get that beautiful dry brush texture. All right. Now, I'm going to work on it for like come to the part where there's underneath the windowsill. So I need this to be dark. I'll clean my brush a bit. Pick up some burnt umber, titanium, ultramarine violet, bit of the titanium buff. Let's see more of the, show more of the ultramarine violet than the burnt umber. Okay, so there. And I'm gonna do this here. Oh wow, this is dark. Let's put some more ultramarine violet, titanium buff. Yeah, because don't forget, this is gonna dry darker. A little bit of, I think I added too much purple. And I'll put some brown in here. Doesn't hurt to take some yellow as well. You don't need to clean your brush. Also, underneath, actually, I'm going to let it dry before I do this. But underneath the actual window, it's going to be really dark. But we can go lighter somewhere here and keep the dark up here. So I'm going to wait for this to dry anyway, and I'll adjust the values. And to make it look like darker here, I'm going to highlight a bit whatever is next to it. So when I highlight whatever is next to that dark, if I do this, this part will look darker. Okay, let it dry. Because, you know, eventually we're going to be putting pots and plants and most of these things. We're not going to see most of these things. We're not going to see a lot of the stuff I'm putting right now, the colors of the wall. That's good. You know, purple is opposite yellow on the color wheel, so they complement each other. And it's perfect to create shadow or darker color, kind of darken the color using opposite color on the color wheel. So right now I'm using purple and yellow, and I'm mixing them with some of the titanium buff. Okay, this is not really important right here, but still. I'm just going to go do the inside of the wall in here and in here, and then I'll stop. So I'm just going to take, it honestly doesn't matter. Just bring in a bit of brown or brown and purple, but with the lighter color. Even if you use Naples yellow with these, it'll be fine. We don't want it too dark. I'm using a smaller brush. I'm still using flat or bright. Actually, if you use, instead of brown, if you use ultramarine violet with with titanium buff and Naples yellow, it's probably better than using the burnt umber in there. That's still looking too dark, but that's okay. I mean, this is acrylics. I'm gonna wait for it to dry and then I'll adjust the value. But I have to wait for it to dry. Meanwhile, I'm gonna do this. And that is, again, I'm using titanium buff, ultramarine violet, a bit of Naples yellow. So I'm not using brown in this area here. Okay, much better. So this part is much better than this part. So I'm gonna, because of that, because I had underneath here brown, it's gonna dry darker. So I'm adding a little bit of titanium buff. That's better. See, much better. Sorry, I have to turn it around a bit so I can do this. It will take much less time if I do it this way. It's gonna dry darker. There. Much softer than before because I didn't use brown. I'm going to keep the top one here, top part dark, a little bit darker. So I'm going to add more of the ultramarine violet or the purple and Naples yellow. There. Okay. Maybe one more because I like this. This is really soft. One more here. This is darker. Good. And now I'm going to take the upper part of the window or the window, this detail, the frame. It's not a frame, it's just the wall in. The wall is in, is usually darker than the side. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop for a minute so and we can come back to this. Okay, so now we're going to do the front of, in front, the step in front of the door and the windowsill. And for this, I have added a little bit of here cerulean blue. I'm going to mix it with Naples yellow. This gives me that beautiful kind of soft green, ultramarine violet. And let's take a bit of titanium buff. I just want to change a bit the color of the entrance, the steps here, a bit different than the wall. All right, let's take a bit more of the ultramarine, titanium buff. Let's see. It's a bit too blue. We're going to put layers. Okay, this is not the only layer. I'm putting a bit of brown in here because I want it to be different, but I don't want it to be completely disconnected from the wall. We're going to layer this, okay? So we're going to put another layer of paint. All right, and let's do the same here. Again, just for this step right here. So when I start putting more of the off-white kind of color, adding layer of brown on this right here, it will look nice with the walls. It won't look disconnected from the walls. But this undertone of different colors in here, the blues or the greens in here, will show and it will look nice. There's going to be a pot here, that's why it looks funny. Looks like it's missing something here, but it's just going to be a pot, flower pot. All right. Now I can go take titanium buff, just titanium buff, and I'm going to take brown, mix them. I still have some of the colors I used before, the greens on my brush, but it's more, yeah, that's good. Brown. a little bit of brown, titanium buff with a bit of white in the titanium buff. I'm going to do the same here. This is the riser right here. And also here. So I'm trying to bring in some titanium buff and brown. It's good. Okay. Again, now I'm going to take more of the titanium buff. Put some brown in it. Just a little bit, not much. And maybe, yeah, not maybe, yes, white. Some white in here. And this is titanium buff. Bit of burnt umber. Some white. I know in the reference it is more like this is a bit too much white. I know in the reference it's wood, but this is kind of slats of wood, but I don't think it's necessary to do that. This is good enough. Go over this one here a little bit like that, and over here. Good. Some here, a little bit. But I'm going to put some strong highlight here. Mixing now a little bit of the burnt umber and paint Naples yellow. Now, I would wait for the paint to dry before I put another layer here, but I'm going to do it right now. This is another layer of burnt umber and titanium buff and ultramarine violet, but it's more like a glaze. It's not heavy. It's not a heavy paint. So I glazed the risers a little bit darker. Also here, I'm going to glaze a bit. And I'm going to do the same with a bit more of the ultramarine violet and just kind of, it's too dark. I'm always thinking how dark the paint is gonna dry. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All of this I'm doing right now is glaze, so it's not thick paint. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. All right, so now what we're going to do is leave everything the way it is. I'm not going to put the highlights in here because this is supposed to be in a shaded area. That's why we have this underneath, this part, darker. So we're going to move on to the pots. And for the pots, let's play around with the colors a bit. Let's take some blue. Let me see if I can, and a little bit of ultramarine violet. Take titanium buff. It's a good color. We can put one right here, blue one, blue pot. Let's take a bit of white. Also, maybe a touch of Naples yellow, just to, yeah, that's nice. All right, that's good. Let's keep the upper part here darker, right there. But lower part, we'll highlight it. We'll highlight it. Now.
No. Yes.
Now, next one. I'm going to get my burnt sienna. bit of burnt sienna. Let's add to it a tiny bit of Naples yellow. Ultramarine violet for the darker part. I'm adding ultramarine violet to it, not ultramarine violet by itself. Okay.
That's that. Was that just burnt umber?
That's burnt sienna.
Oh, burnt sienna.
Yeah, burnt sienna with no problem. Burnt sienna with Naples yellow.
Okay.
And then for the darker part, right here at the where there's more shadow, I added ultramarine violet. There. Right, so we'll add more of the burnt sienna and more pots. Maybe this one here will make it more greenish on this side. So 3 more or 2 more pots to go in burnt sienna. And this one here. All right, give this tiny bit of dark in here too. And then I'll highlight them in a minute. When it's dry, I'll add some highlights. Now this pot right here, I'm going to use more of the greenish color. So cerulean blue, Naples yellow. And let's put this one here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take Naples yellow, add a bit of the purple in it. Now it needs a bit of white in here for the highlighted area. Yeah. Same colors, Naples yellow and cerulean blue, with, it has a bit of purple in there, just to tone it down. And then I'm adding a tiny bit of white in there, where the highlight is. All right, let's go back to the other pots and fix the values, work on the values a bit. The steak again, burnt sienna, Naples yellow, and just kind of highlight this area here a little bit. Good. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of white at this point into my burnt sienna, just to make sure this burnt sienna has a bit of, yeah, that's better. It has a burnt sienna and white. Just add burnt sienna and white. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep it very simple. Just highlight the pots on the side. And just let's leave them like this. We'll add the next step is this, doing the chair. Actually, you know what? Maybe we have 5 minutes. No, we have 10 minutes. No, I'm not gonna. The chair is gonna be separate. We'll do it separately.
Any more layers on the wall?
I don't think so. If you feel like, I don't, on mine, I think it's enough. But if you feel like you need more, don't forget we're gonna have some flowers hanging.
Yeah.
Plants and flowers.
We wanted to put another layer just to kind of blend it in better. What color would it be?
Are you? What do you have right now? You know what? Let me. I'm gonna stop recording.
Like yours, but not quite as nice, obviously.
Okay. I'll have a look right now. I'm gonna stop recording and then I'll have a look, and no problem. I'll see what it needs. Okay, on yours, and then we'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. So to get some texture on the wall, it's better if you don't blend the colors. So let's say I pick up Naples yellow, some titanium buff, let's take some, I'm going to take wipe my brush, and I'm just going to do this and let the brush give you that beautiful white texture, that kind of dry brush, and leave it. Don't have to. Let's do this here. Leave it. Leave that. We don't have to blend.
Okay.
We can just kind of put your brush, make it look weathered. Like, you don't have to make it look kind of brand new and beautiful, and just kind of like this, like that here, right there, and a little bit here. And this can be done in any color you like. It doesn't have to be in this color, but there. I'm not blending. There's no blending here at all. I'm just putting the color and I'm leaving it. Just putting the paint on the wall, and I'm gonna leave it. There. It will give you that weathered look and texture. There. No need to blend at all. It's actually fun if you don't blend. All right, I'm gonna stop recording. Okay, so we're done for this week. We will be back April 16. There's no class next week.